So we now have a new version of Lightroom and Photoshop. For this video, we will take up the most talked about feature which is actually in Photoshop, and that's an automated sky replacement feature. To demonstrate that, I have picked out an old image. And this is the image we'll try and work with. This is taken from a prime 35mm lens, and it's pretty well defined and sharp. So let's take this into Photoshop. Command E will take us there. So Photoshop does have a few other newer features, as also Lightroom, which we'll get to later. So we have the image open. Now one of the things that's added in the new Photoshop 2021 is select sky. So instead of selecting color or subject, you can simply do a select sky and replace it. For now, we just do a Command D to unselect. We go into the edit menu where we have the all new sky replacement. Now when you run the sky replacement, it will automatically pick up whatever was last selected and replace the current sky. So it does take a bit of a processing and time, and your normal zoom will not work, so you can pick up this zoom tool instead. And let's see, we don't seem to have any replacement here, so let's just shift the edge. Okay, now we have some. But it has actually gone on to the leaves. The more we shift it, the more it goes on to the leaves. So we'll have to find a reasonable spot around here. Okay, the edge around the selection, the amount of fade by default is 0. You can change that. Let's just fit this into the window and zoom into some of these edges. It'll just highlight and sharpen the edge detail, as you can see here, which is not what is generally desired, so you need to find a reasonable spot here as well. The sky can be adjusted for temperature. You can warm it up, cool it down, as also the brightness. You can also flip the sky. It's flipped out now. You can adjust the foreground, and you have two blending modes available here. By default it is multiply, which will darken, but you can also choose a screen to lighten it depending on your image. How much do you want to adjust and blend the lighting is controlled by this slider. Similarly, how much do you want the color of the sky to match with the foreground? So it's not bad. In the output you have a couple of options. Duplicate layer will simply create a layer with the sky replaced, and new layers, when you do that, will create a sky replacement group with all the adjustments that can be fine-tuned. So that's what the sky replacement in Photoshop does. Let's just disable this, go into the sky replacement again. Besides offering some pre-built skies, and they are categorized, which is good: blue skies, spectacular, sunsets. You can select all of any one of these. Plus, you can click on this icon to add your own, or create a new group and add your own. So this is very interesting because you can completely customize this with your own skies. And for this image, as a one last try, let's see how this works out. And if I do a duplicate layer in this case, as you can see, we have a simple normal layer with the effect. Now let's just disable this. Command J to make a copy of the background layer. And let's try something similar in Luminar 4. So Luminar is loaded up now. We're not going to process any part of the image because we really don't need to process anything here. We'll simply go into the creative mode, the AI Sky Replacement, and let's say we'll select a dramatic sky. Okay, maybe a dramatic sunset, and let's just zoom in here. The edges and lighting seems to be a lot cleaner by default, and the kind of controls that you have, including defocusing the sky a bit depending on your image, which does not exist in the Photoshop Sky Replacement. Although Photoshop does give you the layers and tools to customize, if you're looking for a quick and good replacement of the sky, I think Luminar still beats Photoshop. Let's just apply this and let's see what we get in Photoshop by comparison. I will test both of these with my own skies so we have a better comparison of the two. Now this was replaced in Photoshop, and this is replaced in Luminar. Although the sky is, and of course color matching and temperature matching is done automatically most of the time and pretty well done in Luminar, but we can also see it does a better job. Now if the color of the sky had not been so, let's also check it out here. Luminar gets all of that. If we plug in this, you can see it's kind of hazy. It's a lot sharper and better done in Luminar. Of course, in Photoshop, since you have control, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And that's about it for the new sky replacement feature in Photoshop. Have fun. Till the next one.